Chinaza, Grace, Ifeoluwa, Dunsin is here also, Duatoyin, Temitope, thank you for joining today's webinar. Thank you for taking out time to join this month's webinar. Today's webinar is titled Enhancing Employers Brand in Today's Workforce. And firstly, like I said, I'd like to tell you, thank you for coming and for joining the webinar. Also, I trust that your day is going well and that you are having a great day. So today, the objective of today's webinar, as we know, enhancing employers' brand in today's workforce. The objectives are to understand the critical role employers' brand plays in attracting and retaining top talent, learn how to balance traditional employers' branding with modern workforce expectation, discover strategies to differentiate your employer's brand in a crowded market, gain insight into future talent demand and how to position your company for continued success. Also, we have different subtitles under the topic that we'll be treating for today. We'll be talking about a brief introduction of employers' brand, the importance and types of employers' brand, today's workforce reality, conventional employers' brand versus modern talent expectation. Also, we'll be looking at the key elements of an attractive employer's brand and different strategies you can put in place to enhance your employer's brand. And as we know, the world is emerging, and we'll be looking at the future talent demands in today's workforce. Okay, so a brief, let's say, rules or guideline to help us in our webinar for today. Please, I would like that if you are not talking or if you are not communicating, that you mute your mic so that there is no interference with the training. And I also like to introduce our facilitator for today's training. His name is Adewale Fashino, and he's a very seasoned HR professional with 8 years of experience in human resources. He has worked in different sectors and currently is a human resource consultant in Kimberly Ryan, and he manages outsourcing and learning and development units and manages employees from different states in Nigeria, up to more than 30 states in Nigeria. He's also a leader and leads by example by working with his team and his colleagues from start to finish by ensuring that everybody grows in the process. I would like to welcome our facilitator for today's training, Adewale Fashino. Welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Taiwo. And thank you everyone for joining today. Please confirm that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I want to believe every other person can hear me clearly. All right, so thank you very much for joining us today. And for those that have been joining us month after month, it's been a great pleasure sharing knowledge with us and also working together on this. So today we are looking at something very critical that is very important in a time like this. And before I go ahead to share my slides, I would just like to mention, I don't know if how many of us, I believe that majority of us here could be HR managers or HR consultants, and we recruit from time to time. And you agree with me that a lot of things have changed concerning recruitment. I remember several years ago when I was starting my career, and when you are an HR manager or maybe a recruiter, so you are like a god. People are always running after you, always wanting to know, let me send my CV. So when you get an invitation for interview, I mean, you jump at it. But nowadays, for those of us that are recruiters, you agree with me that it's getting more and more difficult at a certain level to get um, candidates. Sometimes it's not because candidates are not available, but sometimes because the candidates that we have nowadays, the perspective towards work is quite different. Their expectations are quite different. Several years ago, nobody cares about what an organization does when it comes to diversity and the like. But now there's a lot of advocacy in the workspace. So you have a lot of other factors that you have to put in. And the way you are viewed or perceived by the candidates, potential candidates, matters a lot these days. So which is very important. Why it's very important for we as HR managers to relook a second look at the brands that we have out there as employers of labor. How are people seeing the organization that I work? You might say that as an HR manager, that, oh, it's not my fault, it's the organization, but you agree with me that at the end of the day, everything falls on your table, because if you are not able to fill a certain role, everybody comes back to you. And sometimes it's not 100% your fault, but the reputation that your organization have out there. There is this organization that I heard about. I mean, they pay well. I mean, if you look at them outside, you like this organization. But from experience, I discussed with a few people, and they mentioned that it's always difficult to fill roles for that organization, not because they don't pay well, but because they have a very bad reputation in the ecosystem, that's in their sector. So because of that, it's very difficult to fill that role. So that's why you have to know that it's not just about money now. You have to look at what do people think about your organization out there. So I'll be sharing my slide now. I hope that introduction suffices, but I'll be sharing my slide now so that we can just delve right into it. So before I kickstart fully, I would like to hear from one or two of us our understanding about what do you call it now, employer's brand. What do you understand by employer brand? I mean, if you've ever come across this term before, maybe anyway, please. And before I go into that, please, can you confirm that you can see my screen? Please, I need
Yes,
one
I
or
can.
two people to confirm that my screen is okay. Thank you very much. And please, so I would like to hear from us, one or two of us, that what do you understand by employer branding? Anybody? Anybody? Please, I don't know what you understand by employer branding. What do you understand by employer brand? I know for marketing people, brand means one thing. For HR people or for owners of businesses, as an employer, I mean, it's a different meaning. So I would like to get for one person at least, what do you understand by when you talk about employer's brand or employer branding? How will you explain this? I need someone to really just give us their own thoughts concerning this topic that we are looking at today. Anybody? Do we call names? That we don't put people on the spot. Okay, let me.
Hi,
Is anybody that wants to try?
can I try?
Okay, yes, please. Please go ahead.
Okay, so good morning, Marie. Thank you for this webinar. So, anyway, what I understand by employer branding, so I see it as, let's say, the way a brand presents its ideas, its um ideologies, let's say its missions, what they stand for, the way they present it to their customers, their consumers, and their target audience. That's what I understand it to be.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for giving us that definition of branding. And like, okay, David wants to say something. David, please. Ola Dikupo David, please go ahead. You can
Okay.
unmute the mic and speak. Yes.
So from the HR perspective, I would view employer branding, or I would define employer branding as the culture, how the people outside the organization sees the culture of the organization. So it has to do with culture. It has to do with uh, culture, and how the organization treats its employees. Just the Yeah, let me just summarize that the culture of the organization to how people
Okay.
outside sees the culture of the organization.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, David. And I like that answer. Say how the people from outside view the culture of the organization. And you know that how the culture of an organization is viewed will determine how people treat the organization. in any format. So you are very correct. And Chimoya, thank you for your contribution as well. So let's quickly look at what we have here by way of definition. So what I have here is employer brand refers to reputation of an organization as an employer, right? Distinct from its more general corporate brand. So let me try to break this down. What we are saying here is that employer's brand is how they are perceived as an employer. It's possible that an organization can be perceived as let's say, a global brand. So that is their corporate brand. Oh, this is a global brand. Oh, this organization, they pay well. Oh, it's when they are giving the annual reports, financial reports, oh, the very profitable organization. That could be the corporate brand. But the employer brand is how are they perceived as an employer. Most of the time, we don't look at these aspects of our branding. We focus so much on how we are perceived in the market in terms of profitability so that we can woo shareholders. So for the people up there, for the top management, their own goal is so that how can we present ourselves so that we can woo shareholders, so that we can woo customers. But there's a part that is often left behind, and that's the part of how do we get the right talent? And that's where employer brands come in. There's an organization in Nigeria now, it's a group, a very big organization. I noticed that on their Instagram page, they have a page, they have a particular page that they call it Human of the name of the organization, Human of, and almost every week they post pictures of the people in the office, how they are smiling, how they are laughing, how they are breathing. I mean, those things are intentional. They are intentionally portraying themselves as a very likable employer. So they are showing the culture, like David said, of the organization to the world. Before now, most of the time, what we see on the Instagram pages are mostly the products of the organization. Okay, we are selling this, we are selling that, we are offering this service, we are offering that service. But what this organization I'm talking about, what they are doing now is that they are saying, oh, beyond just us portraying our services or our products, can we portray ourselves as an organization that is likable, that people want to work in? So every time I go on Instagram, I see it, oh, Human of the name of the organization. You see people smiling, people walking to the office, they'll bring camera to the face of people and record them when they are talking. I mean, so what they are doing is intentionally branding themselves as an employer of choice. So you can see the intentionality in that particular organization. I had a meeting with one of the investment banks in Nigeria a couple of weeks ago. And while we were in the meeting, one of the head of HR was talking, and he said the same thing that, oh, this is the kind of thing that we are supposed to be doing now. Today, that is someone's birthday now. We are supposed to record the person, record the session where we are celebrating the birthday and put on our Instagram page, on our LinkedIn page, so that when people see us, they see us as an organization where, oh, wow, I would like my children to work in this organization. So you can see now that there is that you have to be very intentional if you want to build a strong employer brand, right? And if you look at what I have here, they say it encompasses the organization's values, the culture, and the overall employee experience as perceived by both their current employees and potential job candidates. Don't forget that the people that will say the most about your organization are the current employees there. We've had cases of people leaving an organization and they will tell you that, man, please don't work in that organization. I remember like a month ago, a colleague of mine reached out to me and asked me about an organization that a former colleague had worked before. So I reached out to the former colleague and asked, oh, I heard that you have worked in this social organization. What do you think? I mean, that's what I asked her. Oh, by the time she finished, and I told my colleague that this was what was said about the organization, where your friend seemingly wants to work. Immediately she told me that her friend is not going there again. She would rather stay where she is or look for another option. That talks about the brand of that employer. So the employer's brand is already tarnished. But in this case, it's from their current employee who probably did not enjoy our time there and shared our experience. So you will see that employer brand is has to be from inward out, from the inside to the outside, right? I hope I've been able to pass across certain messages. So let's look at the HR perspective, like David helped us with. So from the HR point of view, employer brand is strategic positioning of a company in the labor market to attract, to engage, and to retain talent. Don't forget that every employee that is in your organization is also being attracted by someone outside. So let me paint this picture. Let's assume you are organization A, and there's another organization B in the same sector where you are working. You are paying, let's assume that for this particular job role, you are paying, let's say, 500,000 naira per month, while this other organization is paying 450,000 naira per month. But in your organization, people come in every day and they are having a headache. It's always, they don't know whether they will soon be terminated the next day. But this other organization is portraying themselves as an organization that, you know, we work 2 days from the office, the other 3 days you're at home. We, at the end of the year, we buy Christmas package for you. You'll be surprised that even though you are paying a higher salary, seemingly, but because of the other things there, because of the rest of mind there, the peace that they have there, a lot of employees might leave the organization and move to this organization. So from the HR perspective, you are talking about also retaining your talents. And it's not just always about increment of salary. So employer brand is both to attract talents, to engage talents, and also to retain talents. I can post to you today that there are, even all those of us that are here, there are organizations that today you are looking at, oh, I wish I can work in this organization. And some of them, I know it might be because of money, but there are some of them that it's not because of money, but because of what you've heard about that organization. So from the HR perspective, for an HR personnel, you are thinking about it that as an organization, are we positioned to be able to attract this kind of talent that we need to move us from this level to this level? So when you find yourself in the board meeting as an HR manager, or maybe the retreats, company-wide retreats, as you are planning for 2025, different departmental members will come and they will tell you that, oh, different departmental heads or maybe HODs or managers, they will come and tell you that, see, this is what we need for this year. I need people with this kind of skill. I need people with this kind of, from this kind of school. So you have to be able to tell them that if you need this kind of skill, right, as a manager, we are not positioned yet to attract this kind of people because our brand out there is not good enough. It might be a very tough conversation, but that's falls on your table as an HR personnel. Because at the end of the day, you are the one that will look for the talents, and you are the one that will struggle. So it's better you start working on the employer brand. And the truth is that the initiative has to come from the desk, most of the time from the desk of HR. For bigger organizations, it can come from the comms team. But I know for most of the organizations, is a HR team that initiates it, while the comms team now push it out there. So it's very important that we have this at the back of our mind as HR professionals. So from the marketing perspective as well, still talking about the same thing, say employer brand is a bit different. So you have to do more, you have to put in more effort to be able to attract top talents. Because talents are not just there waiting for you. You have to, other people there are there grabbing this, trying to grab the talents. I remember the forum that I went to, and in that forum, we're having a conversation, and the moderator asked a question. People are saying it was an HR forum, right? Now I ask the question that can we truly say that there are no jobs out there? I mean, just a simple question as that. You'll be surprised that because we're HR people, almost all of us said it's a lie. There are actually jobs out there. We don't have candidates to fill these jobs, right? And everybody starts saying, but in Nigeria, there is all over the news that we have 100 and something million people, 50 million people that are looking for jobs. But the problem is that there are a lot of graduates, but there are few talents that fit into the profile. So for those few talents, there is a war, which was what we looked at last month. There is a war for the talent, which means for your organization to be able to attract the right set of people, you have to make sure that you have good employer brand. You have to be seen well out there, right? I know there are a lot of us that will agree with me that you've had cases where you've hired someone and after a month you said, man, this is a bad hire, because you just have to quickly fill that role. But for you to get the right person, you have to ensure that your brand is good out there. Second one is reduction of hiring costs. For those of us that are HR professionals, you agree with me that when there is delay in filling a role, it has a certain cost that is accrued to it, right? Either you are using a recruitment agency, either the fact that productivity has gone down while you are trying to fill that role, so it affects your hiring costs. And you don't want your hiring costs to keep going up, especially in a time like this. As an HR professional, as a recruiter, you want to ensure that you fill your roles as soon as possible so that productivity is kept at this level. Another importance or advantage of this is also increased employee retention. Of course, when your brand is good at it, people want to associate themselves with something that is good. Like one of my mentors said, that everybody wants to associate themselves with success. Everybody wants to associate themselves with a good name. There's nobody that doesn't like being associated with a good name. So when your brand is good at it, people want to stay there. People want to wear your ID card. People want to put the sticker of your company on their cars. People want to talk about it wherever they go. Why? Because your brand is good out there. Then the next one is enhance employee engagement and productivity. Of course, when the brand is good, people are more productive. They give in more to their jobs. Then the last one I have here is also a fourth. It builds company reputation. And you will see that in your sector, people see that, oh, this is the company to go to. Even as international organizations are trying to come in to the, maybe to your country, maybe Nigeria, for example. Now, some of the things that they look out for is the reputation of organization. Is what are people saying about this organization? You'll be surprised that a lot of international companies that are coming into the system here, they go on social media, they go to your LinkedIn page, check for comments to see what people are saying about this organization. Because nobody wants to associate themselves with an organization with a very poor brand. Nobody wants to say, oh, I'm working with this organization, or I have a contract with this organization if the organization is having a very poor brand. So it's very important that we work on employers branding. The type of employer branding, we have first of all the internal one. This talks about the focus on the current employees that you have internally. What's the experience of the employees internally? Like I said earlier, that how your internal employees sees the company as an employer, not as a producer of Pepsi, not as a producer of milk, but as an employer. How they see you as an employer is totally different. Let me paint this well. Let's assume you are a consulting company like Kimberly Ryan, like we are here. You might have a very good reputation out there. Oh, if you need an HR consulting company in Nigeria, Kimberly Ryan is where to go. If you need a recruitment company, Kimberly Ryan will deliver. That's how people outside are seeing us. But we that we are working in Kimberly Ryan, how are we seeing Kimberly Ryan as an employer? It's very critical. So that talks about the internal employer brand. So how are you building that brand internally? And the goal of this is to increase employee engagement, satisfaction, retention, loyalty, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that we have this on our mind. And part of the ways you can do this is internal communication, recognition program, employee development, wellness initiative, and creating a supportive and inclusive environment. I mean, on and on. This goes on and on. And one of the things I would like to also mention as I go along is that for each of the types of employer brand, the tactics or the strategies will be different. Now, these are the strategies for the internal brand. So when you are trying to build your employer brand internally, the strategies that you deploy, of course, from the internal, it goes to the external, but you have to be able to identify them. So for the internal employer brand, what you do internally to make your employees see you as a good employer, which will be a bit different from what the external or the potential candidates see you. So I'm going to the external very soon. So this is the external now. So he's talking about the branding targets, targeting potential employees or public, highlighting why the company is a desirable place to work. I gave an example earlier when I just started of a big organization in Nigeria that they have an hashtag on their social media, human of, that's the name of the organization. What they are doing is external employer brand. So I now, for example, now, as I'm seeing that brand, I'm saying, wow, I would like to work in this kind of organization. They are always looking happy. Whether it's like that or whether it's true internally is a different ballgame. But externally, they have been able to sell their brand to us externally. The internal one is a totally different ballgame. But for the external, they have an initiative to that they are leveraging on to be able to sell their brand to the public, which is what I noticed on their social media platform. And the goal, of course, is to attract top talents from different places. And different tactics include recruitment marketing. That's how do you market your recruitment? What do you say when you're out there? Social media presence, I already mentioned that. Showcasing your company culture, which was what I just mentioned for that company that I talked about now. Their culture, to me, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but what I see on their social media pages is that they are a smiling organization. They are a very happy workplace. It's a very happy work. Whether it's true or not, well, maybe I will ask someone that works in the organization, but they have been able to sell to me, right? Then, of course, the employee testimonial. The organizations that they do document, there is this documentary that Virgin Atlantic, we all know Virgin Atlantic, the airline, that they did recently. They did like, they brought their maybe top, not maybe likely top talents or employees that are doing well from different departments, even from the flight attendants and the likes. They brought them together. They did like a video for them. They brought a musician. I mean, they recorded them. They posted them on their social media and they did like, they promoted the video. So those people became celebrities, sort of, right? So that's part of their own tactics. So for a potential employee, you are looking at them and saying, wow, I would like to work in this place so that, I mean, when I work out, they will recognize me, and my people in my village, they will see me that, Wale is doing very well. right? That's what some people want. So you have to be intentional about your external employer brand as well. Then we talk about cultural employer brand. So this brand emphasizes the company's work culture, values, positioning your company as a place where employees are aligned with shared values and culture. The focus of this one is talking about the culture and value. What does this organization value? Let me give you an example. The organization that from everything that they do, you will know that they value diversity. While they are the same, there are some organizations in the same industry. When you enter check their staff list, everybody is from a particular tribe. Everybody is either male, but the organization that you go to in the same Nigeria, you see them that they are seen as, you like them because they are able to portray themselves in a certain way culturally, which means that when you go there, it's diverse. When they do the cultural day, maybe at the beginning of the year, the Igbo people are wearing their Igbo attires, the Yoruba people are wearing their Yoruba attire, the Efik are wearing their own, the Hausas are wearing their own. So when you look at them, you say, oh, this is an organization that values diversity, right? Also, too, you see, in terms of gender balance as well, you see that as well. So what this does is that it portrays them as, let me use Nigeria as a pan-Nigerian organization, not a Yoruba organization, not an Hausa organization, not an Igbo organization. So it has a way it also attracts people. I want to work in a place where I don't feel out of place because I don't belong to the tribe that the MD is where the MD is from. That's how some people also sell their organization as well. So we have the functional as well, the functional employer brand. This type focuses on tangible benefits and professional opportunities that the company offers, such as compensation, career growth, and job security. So this also is another angle to employer brand. The organizations today that you and I want to work in, why? Because we've heard that they pay in dollars. Because I heard that in this organization, they will send you to UK for training. That's why you want to work in that organization. So it's a part of employer brand, but this time they are focusing on functions, right? Job security, compensation, career growth, and the likes, right? But all are still talking about the same thing, building a strong employer brand to retain, to engage, and to attract top talents. So I have a question here, which I would like us to just respond to. So my question is this. I hope you can see it on my screen. What steps has your organization taken to improve its employer brand? I would like us to just share, maybe one or two people. What steps do you know? I believe that a lot of us here are HR people. If we are not an HR person, you work in an organization. What steps, based on all these things that we've talked about, what steps have you guys taken in your organization to improve your brand, both for the internal audience, who is the current employee, the external, the potential? So I would like one or two of us to just speak. What steps? Anybody, you can just raise up your hand, then would signal you to speak. What steps have you taken in your organization to improve your brand as an employer now, not as a marketing organization or whatever you do as your business, right? As an employer, what steps have been taken in your organization? Anybody there? I don't know who wants to bail the cat. Is there anybody there that wants to speak? You can just unmute yourself and just give us the steps that you guys have taken. Yes. Is someone speaking there?
Yes.
Hi.
There is a
Okay,
response in the chat box. Someone said embracing digital marketing.
Okay. So embracing digital marketing. So I don't know if you can unmute and just explain what you mean by this, so that maybe we can have a conversation about it. I don't know if it's possible for you to unmute, Ose, and just maybe give us a bit more clarity on what you mean by embracing digital marketing.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, in that aspect, when I talk about digital marketing, we see fully well that the world is going globally, and we are leaving the old pattern of work to the IT pattern, and everything is being done in cloud, social media, as the case may be. So we went into creating informative websites, not just having access to contacts and know what we did, what we are doing. Our websites and access to what we do became more informative. We engaged social media activities. We're more practical in that part, not just attracting people but also giving a proper understanding. You can be able to see what the company is into. You can be able to understand what our activities are, the kind of services we offer, the kind of content that we do. So that's actually part of the option that we took in engaging and enhancing our brand. We engage digital marketing.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I'll say, and I mean, this resonates well. I'm sure with a lot of us. And if you are there and your organization you've not moved digital, please, you have to.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please add this. Yes, please.
Okay, so my present organization, when I joined, I that was over a year ago. So I instituted the culture of celebrating staff birthday at the end of the month. We gather together, we get cake, we get drinks, everybody we share, we say things about the celebrants. You know, even on everybody's birthday, we post it on our WhatsApp group. Everybody share their wishes. We post the picture. The person's DP will be the person's picture will be the DP till another person's birthday comes up. So things like that, and also when during the International Women's Day, we all the men we gathered together, we contributed money, we bought gifts for the women. It was a very grand celebration. I think we started from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So that was how we ended the day. So things like that were things I'm doing internally for employer brand.
Yes, thank you very, very much. And you will see the reaction of the people. I know an organization where people were coming late and they tried, using financial fine. Oh, you pay this money, but people kept coming late. They just made up their mind that when I'm late, I will pay the money. She needs to pay money, I'll pay the money. But when they now started being employee of the month, it was not noticed that people stopped coming late. Why? Because they feel, I want to win this employee of the month award though. So if I come late, it might deprive me. So you can see that was more effective than when it was fine. And that also added to the brand of the organization. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's really, really brilliant. I love the two ideas, the one from Ose and one for, I think, Dapo as well. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for the digital marketing, like Ose explained, I think it's very important that digital presence is key now, because you'll be surprised that when you receive a mail from an organization, the first thing you go and do is go and check their website. Or when you see a job advert, you quickly go and check their website. I don't know if this resonates with even we that we are HR people. I'm sure that we did this before joining the organization that we work. Go and check their website, go and check their LinkedIn, go and check. In fact, some of the people on in the organization, I remember a colleague that resumed in our organization some time ago, and one of my colleagues was now saying that you are just stalking me before you joined. And I asked her, what do you mean? She said that before she joined, she ensured that she was checking everybody that LinkedIn says work in that organization, and she was checking them one by one, checking their profile. So that shows you the importance of the brand, because from their profile, you could say, I don't want to work in this organization, no, because of this kind of, I don't want to work with this kind of people. So you can see that it's very important. So thank you very much for sharing. So let's go on. Talking about today's workforce, as we all know, today's workforce, things are totally different. I mean, HR people will tell you this, managers will tell you this. So we have like different generations. We have the boomers, the Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, and all these things. And what you find a lot of times is a clash. You find the people that believe that you must, when you are coming on a Monday, you must talk in, use your tie before you leave the house. You have the younger ones where they would rather wear Crocs while leaving their house, and they will come and change to shoe when they get to the office. What do you do? Right? So we have different ways people, different kind of people in the workplace at the same time. So which brings a lot of clashes. As consultants, we've had courses to, intervene in organizations where they're having issues, and the HR will say, oh, these people need training, they need training, they need training. And some of the time you find out that it's not necessarily about just training them. It's just about understanding that this generation thinks a bit differently from the way we think, right? And that will solve a lot of the challenges. And what does this mean for our brand? This means that it's important that we take note of this. And when we are portraying our brand out there, you have to take note of generations that are in the workplace now. You don't push your brand out there as an employer and focus only on people that think in a certain way. right? Oh, we are a very corporate organization. We don't know. We don't do, when we want to take pictures, we make sure that we go to the studio. Things are different. The people that the organization that I talked about earlier, that I said they do human of the name of the organization, what they do now is that they carry their phone. It's like, you know that his phone is shaking. You know, in those days, when you want to take corporate, it has to be corporate, it has to be focused, you don't shake. But you say they carry phone, be doing selfie. I mean, that's where we have found ourselves, knowing that you have different generations in the workspace at the moment. Let's look at a few statistics here. We have one from Deloitte. So it says more than 70% of millennials expect their employers to focus on societal or mission-driven problems. 70% want to be creative at work, which means that they want this set of people. Deloitte is saying that they want the kind of employer that have societal and mission-driven. They want people that at the end of the year they will go to maybe Makoko to go and share rice. To go. I mean, it matters to them. But there's another generation that they don't care about that. Their own is just, I mean, as long as my salary is good, I move, right? The current generation that I know a lot of HR people might say we're having problem with them is Gen Zs. And you find out that a lot of times the difference is just that they are outspoken. There's a training that we're having with one of our clients at the moment. We started 2 days ago. And one of the facilitator asked them a question that as Gen Zs, we have Gen Zs in the class, we have a mixture in the class, that what do they expect? You know what they said? They said the problem that they have with their bosses is that they like going like this. They don't come straight. That they prefer straight conversation. If you don't like what I'm doing, talk to me straight. And I will respond to you. I'll give you two. I said, what? I said, when I was younger, when I just started my career, I can't look at my boss in the face. Who am I to even talk? My boss is talking. I don't. You have to. I said, well, things are different, right? So we have to know that the different generations have different focus areas, and then the brand matters. 52% of workers today prefer remote or hybrid work model. COVID changed a lot of things. I want to say God bless COVID, but I realized that a lot of people died, so it wasn't a good experience. But in terms of the workplace, it changed a lot of things. A lot of us are doing hybrid now. Before COVID, I'm not sure too many organizations do that, right? So, but now people are used to it. I heard that some organizations are trying to go back to the workplace. I heard that Amazon, they're trying to move back. X, that's formerly Twitter, they're trying to move back. But at least we see, based on this data, that 52% of workers prefer remote or hybrid work. And I'll tell you that majority of those are the Gen Zs and the millennials. I'm sure they're the ones that like this. Then also, too, we have one from Dayforce. 86% of job seekers look at employer review before applying. I can tell you this for free. A lot of people that are going to come to your organization would have checked you first online, whether on LinkedIn, your website, at least your website, before they apply, or even if they have mistakenly applied, before they take up the job. So what you do there, it matters a lot. You don't want a situation where employees are not treated well internally and they go on Naira Land, a forum like Naira Land, and they go there to download everything, right? And they start saying all sorts of, or they go on Reddit and mention the organization, they are part of this, they are part there, or go on Facebook. You don't want that for yourself. So as an HR professional or as an HR manager, you have to ensure that you put this on top of your bucket list. So let's quickly do a quick poll. Dario, please, can you put up the poll for us? We have a poll that I would like us to quickly do just to get a bit of data. Dario, are you there? Okay. So please, let's look at our screen. We see the poll. Let's quickly fill them. So he said, what is your organization's current employer brand status? How will you talk about your employer brand in the organization that you work? We have fair, we have poor, we have good, we have excellent. So just click on it and submit. I would like to hear from you. Let's quickly fill the poll. You see it on our screen there. Say, what is your company's current employer brand status? Is it poor? Is it fair? So we have like 10 seconds more. We have like 10 seconds more. Dario, please confirm number of people. Are people feeling it so that we can pull up and we can be able to say what is your company's current employer branding status? Okay, absolutely good. Okay, thank you very much. I'm looking at it now and I could see it. So let me just read. I don't know if everybody can see what's on the screen, but let me share. Let me just explain what I can see. So number one is that we realize that from this question, 0% said poor. So nobody feels their current employer's brand is poor. 18% said fair. I mean, just there, kind of. Then 76% said good, but 6% said excellent, which is very brilliant. I would like to know those that said excellent. And maybe before the end of this seminar or webinar, rather, you can just share with us what you guys are doing. Maybe we can all learn from this. I mean, if you can rate your employer's brand to be excellent, that means they must be doing something right. And if you're an HR person, especially, I would like to hear from you. All right, thank you very much. That you can pull off the poll. So we'll talk about this as we round off the session. So now let's really look at conventional employer brand versus modern talent expectation. So what are the conventional way we do our things, and then versus what is expected, this current talent that we have there, what's expected. So we want to just juxtapose it, the current conventional employer branding method, what people have been doing in the past, and the expectation of the current workplace. So number one here is what we used to attract people before is job stability. Oh, if you work here, if you work in your, I don't know how many of us, our parents have told us that, oh, if you work in this kind of organization, you can be sure that for 30 years, they will not sack you. Your job is stable, right? Things are changing, right? Let me stop at that. I'll still go back to this. Another one is salary and benefits. Or when they start grumbling, let's increase their salary. Let's increase it's money that they want. Don't mind all these young boys and girls. Money is what they want. Another one is reputation and prestige. Oh, they know the organization that when you go to the village, when you tell your uncle, I work in so company, say, what? I mean, that used to be how we, how we attract people. Then we have work-life separation. That, okay, when you are at work, you are at work. When you are at home, you are at home. I mean, this used to be the way people used to, I mean, employers used to be known for, and what I used to attract people in times past. Like I said, job stability. Like my boss said one day that how many people are going to have a case where they are working in the same organization for 30 years? That it's not something that would likely see at this period, right? Because most of the time, whether we like it or not, a lot of the employees that we have now, they will spend a few years in the organization and they move ahead, right? So this cannot be how you attract employees. So that's what we are saying. How do we now merge this? How do we now compare this with the expectation of the current workplace? So let me quickly go to the modern talent expectation. What are the things that the modern talent is looking forward to or looking for? So number one here is purpose and value alignment. The current crop of employees or candidates that we have there, they want to ensure that there is an alignment between the purpose and value. So they have a purpose. They want to work in an organization where they do things, I mean, they care about the environment, they care about diversity, things that we don't used to think about in those days. I mean, these are the things that people are looking for these days, right? They want to ensure that the purpose and the value of the organization align with their own. I've seen people that left their workplace, and when you ask them, why did you leave? Oh, I left because the purpose of the organization doesn't align with my purpose. I mean, I don't feel I can derive joy by working from this organization. Joy? 20 years ago, nobody cares about joy. Everybody cares about how much are they paying me. But this is what's happening these days. Another thing, work-life integration. People are not even wanting work-life balance. They want work-life integration. They want to ensure that they are working, I mean, they can be working at home and they can be doing other things. They don't want you to be monitoring them. Oh, he's working. They want to make sure that, I want to tell you that, okay, I'm working, I'm delivering my task, but I'm also doing other things. I'm doing my hobby, I'm enjoying myself, but I'm delivering. That's where people are now. People want to be able to say, I'm working from home today. I have my task, I've delivered my task, I finish my task by 2 o'clock. I want to go to the cinema by 3 o'clock. You might not like that. As a manager, but that is where it's going now. Because they finish their task, they want to let me go and relax a little. So work-life integration, so that their work is also part of their life, right? The other one is career development and growth. It's not just about payment of salaries. It's also talking about career development. They want to say, I have grown as a person in my career. Another one is DEI, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like I said, people don't want to work in an organization where they are the only one from their tribe in that organization. It matters nowadays. Or they are the only one with their gender in that organization. They are the only woman, I'm the only woman in this organization. People don't want to work in that kind of organization anymore. So you have to find a way to balance this. But these are the expectations. Another thing, this one, I know that most of us HR people will end up we see this thing. We don't like this particular one I want to read now. Say mental health. I know most HR people don't like it, and we've brought it. We've already always said that it's the Gen Zs that brought this term into the workplace, your mental health and well-being. But whether you like it or not, it is what it is, right? You have a case now where people can commit suicide just by you not appreciating them, not by you insulting them, but by you not appreciating them, right? So we have to put all these things into consideration. Like my organization now, almost on a quarterly basis now, throughout this year, I did a quarterly basis throughout this year, we've had sessions of mental health. I remember my organization brought professionals come and talk to us about mental health, and we liaised with our HMO to come and deliver such that kind of lecture to us. So I mean, that's another thing for us, for we HR people. You can liaise with your HMO, whichever HMO organization you are using, and they can come to your organization to come and talk about mental health. I mean, some of these things. So that these are part of the things that the modern talents are expecting from us as employers. And these are the things that shapes our brand. Another one is transparency and open communication. I mentioned this earlier. I said the training that we're having at the moment, excuse me, please, that some of the employees in the session, they told us categorically that they don't like the fact that their managers are always good like this, that they like open conversation. Just be transparent. Let me know. Be transparent with me. So these are part of the expectation so that we can put this at the back of our mind. So let's look at this. What are the key elements of good employer brand? I've mentioned them before. So culture and value, work-life integration, diversity and inclusion. We have career development, which is, and also having a strong purpose, ensuring that your purpose aligns with the purpose, I mean, the right purpose. So you can't just be an employer that the only purpose you have is just to make money. There are other things beyond profits. People want to ensure that where they are working, they do they have CSR projects, they are human, they do different humanitarian services. So I would have taken this question, but because of our time, I'll just run through so that we don't spend too much time here. Then quickly, strategies to enhance employer brand. Just quickly, next 5 minutes, I'll wrap up. So we have to create a clear employee value proposition, EVP, employee value proposition. So you have to make this clear that there has to be an employee value proposition. That what kind of employees are we looking at? What are the things that our employee will enjoy? So that when you are trying to attract the talent, you are able to show them this, because this would on a long term determine the things that you will do to attract these employees. When you have the employee value proposition, when the employees come into our organization, what are the things that they will see at Kimberly Ryan, right? Then also to foster an inclusive and diverse work culture. I can't say this enough. Your work culture has to be inclusive. You can't keep saying it's only this kind of people. You can't be saying, oh, you want only people from my village, only people from my town, only from my tribe. Your workforce has to be diverse. People from different backgrounds, right? I found out something about a particular global brand recently, and they said that they intentionally employ people from different fields. So are they employ someone from medicine intentionally? It's an IT firm. Maybe someone from the medical line intentionally, bring someone from engineering. They said from sociology, so that when you bring up a team, you have a bit of diversity. People are not thinking in one direction. Another one is promote transparency in leadership and communication. If you are not a manager, if you're an HR person, you have to train your managers to see this, that there has to be transparency. Managers cannot always wait till the time of appraisal to communicate bad, how would I put that? Give bad reviews. It has to be transparent. It has to be open. It has to be able to make a manager should not be hiding under appraisal to pass their comments. They should be able to sit down with their reports and discuss with them that this and this and this is what I expect of you. Then, of course, focus on employee development and career growth, leverage on social media, like Ose said, and company website to showcase workplace culture. Then encourage employee advocacy. Then future talent demands. I mean, of course, focus is still more of what we are already having now. They are talking about remote and hybrid work as a default, not the one that you'll be threatening them every 2 days. We will soon come back to the office. All these, I will soon stop this. If you guys don't perform, I will stop it. You have to see that enough. The world has changed. It has moved ahead. Sustainability and ESG. You have to incorporate all this, your corporate governance, social responsibility, and your environment responsibility of your organization. If it's for you to liaise with one NGO, so that whenever you partner with them on their projects and all, then AI and digital development. AI is very important. I attended a global web conference, HR AI in HR conference. It was virtual. That was last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was amazed. They brought the top HR people in big conglomerates across the world. I mean, in Europe, in the US, and the likes. And they were talking about AI, and all of them made a statement. They made the same similar statement, and they all said something. They said that they are now intentionally integrating AI into their system. So they are intentionally forcing their employees to use AI. I was saying, what? So yes, that's what the big organizations are doing now, because they realize that AI has its own advantage. Yes, it has its advantages, but it has its own advantages. And their competitors are using it as leverage to get things done faster. Right? So you have to, whether you like it or not, this is what is going to happen. AI has come to stay. In fact, the way it's going now, more things are coming that will be more, make work more simpler or make people lazier, as you may put it, than AI. But it's important that we have this at the back of our mind. We cannot negate AI. And so we have to, but I am already using it, by the way. So please, you have to keep encouraging our people to use them. Okay, so I think the last one is emphasis on diversity, inclusion, and equity, which I've already mentioned, equity as a business imperative. So thank you very much. I think I've been able to quickly run through, because I'm looking at our time, so that we don't overshoot the time by too long. So quickly, thank you very much for listening in. And so I would like to take our questions and comments as well. And while we are doing that, let's look at in the chat box. My colleague has already posted our social media handle. Like every other person is doing, we are also putting ourselves out there as Kimberly Ryan on social media. And so please, let's see our social media handles. You can just click on them. And okay, so let's just wait for questions. So thank you very much. So if you'd like to share your ask questions or share your thoughts about the conversation today, I believe it has been a robust conversation within a short time. And so I'll be waiting for that. At time, I don't know if anybody has dropped any question in the chat box. Or if you want to just speak, you can just raise your hand or you can unmute your mic, and then we can just chat in the next few seconds so that we can close out this session.
Okay, David said he has a recommendation. Okay, I didn't have a question, rather a commendation. Okay, good presentation. I was commending you.
Oh, thank you very much, David. I'm clapping for you. I'm clapping for myself. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm still waiting for comments or questions. Any other person? Please, you may unmute if you have questions, if you have comments. Is there any other one? Taiwo, please check the chat box.
Okay, someone said I joined late. It's a pity I missed out. Okay, we'll share the slide later on.
Yeah, we'll share the slide and the recording. Yes, and the recording as well, please, via your email.
One person
Yes.
said, thanks for the enlightenment.
Oh, okay, thank you very much for the comments. Thank you so much. Any other one? Because we already have just 2 minutes. Okay. Any other comments? Anybody that wants to speak? Would like to take it if you'd like to speak. You can mute your mic and just quickly share something, maybe a question or comments. Yeah. So Taiwo, please, I'm still holding on in case anybody has dropped anything on the chat. Okay. So I think we have also dropped, my colleague Tolu also dropped feedback form on the chat box. Please, you can quickly just click that. It won't take you out of Zoom, so you can just click that out and just fill it. It's very simple. It's not taking you to another website. It's very simple. So please.
There's a question on the chat box. Someone is asking, how do your employee align with the organizational brand?
Okay, sorry. Can you go over that again, please?
Employees align with organizational brand rather.
Okay, so I mean, if you talk about organizational brand, that's why I talked about from different angles. We have the internal brand, you have the external brand, right? So for the internal brand, when you come up with your initiative, you have to make sure you carry the employee along. For example, now, if we want to be seen as a corporate organization, maybe an organization that when you see us on the road, you know that, man, this person works for Kimberly Ryan in terms of the way they dress. It's not just about putting it on social media. Your employees have to start dressing that way, right? You have to, or you want to be seen as an organization that does this, that does that. You have to start doing that. For example, now you want to start being seen as an organization that is inclusive, and you want to start doing maybe initiatives that bring people together to do maybe enlightenment program. Your employees cannot be seen doing the opposite. So you have to ensure that whatever it is that you are doing, your plans, you are drawing up your strategy and your plan, you have to also include your employees. One of the things that we did in this organization, our HR, we call up people service management, what she did here was that she formed a strategic team That's for us in my own organization. We need form a strategic team. So it's not just her. So she and a group of people. So they meet together to decide these things. So those people are more like the representatives of different units in the organization. So that whenever decisions are being made, it's not just the HR pouring down decisions on people. Oh, this is how we want our brand to be. HR has already discussed with other people as well. I hope that this helps. Thank you very much. I hope that helps.
Okay, I think Uche had a question earlier on.
Okay,
yeah.
Uche, please go ahead. And that will be the last one, I believe. It's already a minute past our time. Okay, Uche, please. You can speak up, please. I can't hear. I don't know if she's a lady or
good afternoon.
guy. Okay, good afternoon, Uche. Hi.
Okay, sorry I joined a bit late, but I wanted for you for organizations that are quite young, and when you talk about diversity and inclusion, my question would be, how can such organizations start doing it?
Okay. All right. So I think for this also too, we have to look at your talent mapping and then your recruitment strategy. Right. Let me tell you one of the things that one organization that I read about it. When they realized that they were recruiting from a particular place, what they did was that before they recruit, first of all, they changed their channels of recruitment, which means that if they were using just Facebook or using Jobberman before, they start using other channels of recruitment so that they could bring people that are different from what they have. Another thing is being intentional about it. So if we say we notice that in our organization we are 20 and 18 of us are men. I mean, and we could see that this is a problem. We want a bit of diversity. And when we are recruiting the next one, we are not going to bring in a woman just because she's a woman. We are looking for top talents, but we are looking for top talents that are women. So we are intentional about our recruitment. What we do a lot of times, because we recruit based on more like fire brigade approach, is that managers just tell us, oh yeah, go ahead. So we just want to quickly, as I chat, we just want to quickly feed out so that they will leave me. They will not stop disturbing me. They will stop blasting me during the management meeting on Mondays, right? But that should not be. So once you already know that there is this challenge, you have to start mapping it and planning ahead. So your talent pool has to be a diverse talent, because don't forget that your talent pool will definitely most likely determine the kind of candidates that you have. So when your talent pool is already not diverse, it's likely that your recruitment will be biased to one side. But even before requests come from maybe recruiting managers, you have to ensure that you are filling your talent intentionally with diverse people. Like I said, if it's gender that you are looking at, if it's tribe that you are looking at, if it's in terms of skills that you are looking at, you have to be intentional about and educate the managers about it. That it's not only women that can sell. We should not be only bringing women to the sales team. We should not be only bringing men to operations. Women can do operations. We have to enlighten them that there are people that have these skills. And like I said, your talent mapping and your recruitment strategy matters a lot when it comes to this. I don't know if that helps a little.
Yeah,
and also I would like to mention, okay, thank you very much. That any of us that have questions after this, you can always reach out to Dayo. I'm sure that Dayo send emails to you guys. You can always reach out to him with your questions. We are ready to have maybe a short session with you and just discuss further, right? Because you have attended this webinar. So thank you very much. Because of our time, we might not be able to take any other question. Thank you very much for listening in, for asking questions, for contributing. Thank you so much. So I think that will be all from me. Taiwo, I think I will hand over to you to wrap up the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Wale, for that insightful session. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's webinar section. And like Wale mentioned earlier, we dropped a feedback form on the chat box. Kindly check and fill the form. And I would like to beg our indulgence. Once you fill the form, kindly chat and type done or submitted or something to just signify that you've actually filled the form. Thank you very much. And we'll be on the call for a few more minutes in case you need any clarification or you need to reach out to us for anything. But the webinar series has officially ended for this month, for today. Thank you for joining and do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.